thanks again for sitting down and taking the time to talk to me about this partnership today. Can you guys kind of just start off and just talk about, how the partnership came about and just kind of the anticipation for it as we're about a week out from the official launch of everything? It's for both of you.
Well, for me, Zane, I've been saying Bud Light and the Octagon and talking about them for many, many years. I've been a big fan of Bud Light because I drink Bud Light, enjoy it tremendously. And then they came to me and with the idea of being the spokesperson and the voice of Bud Light. And it was very exciting because, I've been doing this for so long. Everything came together. And then the idea of me working with Dustin Poirier, one of my favorite fighters of all time, it just was a total meeting of the minds and just everything that I would just want to do. I couldn't help but just grab onto it. And with all the plans that they have for the future, both in and out of the octagon, for the fans, such as the paid time at the octagon announcements we're going to be making next week, for people getting a chance to win tickets to UFC 322 in New York, and all else they have planned moving forward. It's just total excitement for both of us and total excitement for the fans that have the chance to participate and be with us at a UFC event and more.
For sure, Dustin, anything you'd like to add to Bruce's remarks? I feel like that's all pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it was great stuff. And everything you said, I agree with. It's been a great partnership. I've had fun with them. It's been a couple years now. This is the second commercial we shoot together. And then obviously getting to work with Bruce on this commercial, the voice of the Octagon with the beer of the Octagon. It was a perfect work setting, man. We had a lot of fun shooting it, and I can't wait for everyone to see.
For sure, and just given who's kind of what you said, just regarding the opportunity for fans to potentially win tickets to UFC 322, do either of you guys know if that's going to become a regular thing moving forward for pay-per-views, or it's just a one-off, one-time thing to see how it goes before they move into other activations?
I can't answer that personally because that's up to the powers that be at Bud Light and the UFC. I mean, Dustin and I are loyal soldiers. They point, we shoot, so it's a matter of what we're directed to do. Right now, we're concentrating on the campaign starting next week for UFC 322, the PTO paid time at the Octagon campaign. So just like getting ready for a fight, Dustin can only focus on the fight in front of him. Just like me getting ready for an event, I can only focus on the event in front of me. So it's one event at a time with many more to come.
Or, or just kind
But
of piggybacking
but if you
on.
want to get ready for that event, call 1-800 Bud Light, follow the rules, enter the contest, and you could be picked for great seats at UFC Madison Square Garden. Incredible historic arena with some great fights on this card. I'll be there. I'm super excited about this night, man.
That's for sure. And speaking of the fights on the card, Dustin, what's your outlook on the main event for UFC 322? Because it's a pretty good fight to top the card, and I think a lot of people are going to be pretty excited about it. What do you think of it?
I think Islam is gonna fill out. He's gonna look like a legitimate welterweight fighter. And if he can, if JDM can stop takedowns or find ways to scramble back to his feet and keep it a dogfight, he's big and he can punch. And I'm not saying that Islam's boxing isn't great as well. I just think JDM's gonna have success in those exchanges if he can stay off the mat. It's going to come down to takedown defense and his ability to get up off the mat. But Islam's going to look like a legitimate welterweight in there. He's a big guy.
Or, or, Bruce, I mean, you're going to be the one standing up in between those two, or at least right before the fight. How do you feel? How do you feel about that fight, just given that Islam's moving up to 170 to try to win another title?
You know, Islam has a challenge ahead of him, just like JDM has a challenge against him. Uh, Very few fighters are capable of moving up in weight or moving down in weight, and we're going to see that example in Islam. I Here's the thing with me is on paper, just like Dustin mentioned, Islam with his takedowns, everything else, JDM, with a lot of striking has got to come into this to to overcome and win this fight. My whole thing is I just want to see the best fight possible. So I cannot say who's going to win, who's going to lose.
For sure.
I always say may the best man or women win. And that's what I'm going to look for here. It's a great fight and may the best man win. And we'll see how it comes out.
Absolutely. And just kind of stepping back a little bit, hey, Dustin, you've had a little bit of time to reflect post your retirement. How are things going so far, just with all of the desk work you're doing and obviously doing this and all of the other things that you do? Have you been able to find a balance in post retirement, or has it just been a little bit more difficult, just given that it's only been a few months since you decided to hang up the gloves?
Yeah, it's been more difficult than I thought it was going to be, but I definitely have been staying super busy, keeping my mind busy, traveling a lot. But nothing's ever going to fill that void of what fighting was in my life. So to stay connected to it, if I can keep doing these analyst gigs and stay on the desk and keep talking about the sport that's given me everything, given my family safety, given, my whole life has been dedicated to this since I was 17 years old. And I would love to stay connected to it somehow, whether that's in the booth, doing analyst work, breaking down fights, or whatever the UFC sees that I fit well in. I want to stay connected to the sport and the fans and the fighters.
What would you say has been your favorite part of your analyst desk role so far? Because it seems like you've been able to fit right in and just gel well with the current team. It seems like you've been in there for quite a bit, even though you just started a little bit ago. What would you say? What would you say has been your favorite part so far?
Yeah, I've only done analyst work for pay-per-views, so it's always big cards that I'm at. And seeing I did Miami a few years ago when Izzy fought Alex. That was
Mm-hmm.
a cool night. But the recent one I did in Miami when Volk came back and got his title back, being one of the older guys, like in the 35 plus, with the records that they had trying to get belts back or to become undisputed. It was cool to see Volk get his belt back and beat the odds. I was just really happy for him, man.
For her, her is kind of just kind of looking at here just with this just with this campaign and everything. Is there anything else that that fans or just consumers of the UFC and Buffalo should be aware of this campaign? Because it just seems like it's going to be a really big deal at launch. And there anything that people should be looking forward to outside of the commercial and everything that comes with it? And either of you can answer this question.
The opportunity to be sitting in great seats watching the best fighters in the world in the Mecca of Madison Square Garden, New York City, to do this PTO contest that's going to be going to call in. And if you get picked, it's going to be a great night of fights. It's just going to be a great time.
It's going to be a great night of fights, and also too, with the UFC going all over the world, all the amazing arenas that we do, and the amazing cities and countries that go to. The people have to understand the history of Madison Square Garden with the great championship fights that have happened there in the UFC, happened in boxing. It is truly a mecca. There's so much history. And when you walk into the arena, whether a fan, a fighter, or otherwise, you feel that history. It's like the ghosts of Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier and all these great fighters that have been
Oh
there
yeah.
and entertained. It's a huge event and monumental in respect to the fact of the championship fights that we will have that night. But as a fight fan, as first, an announcer second, and as any fan of the UFC, I'll tell you, if you can experience Madison Square Garden, then you better call 1-800 Bud Light to get your chance to do this, because this is the time to have a moment that truly you'll remember for the rest of your life.
100%. And just considering kind of what you were mentioning, Bruce, about Madison Square Garden, you've announced thousands of fights across many arenas around the world. Where does Madison Square Garden rank for you as one of your favorite arenas that you've gotten a chance to do your thing in? If you were to guess.
Well, it's again, like I said before, as far as history, it's the greatest of all time. As far as ranking, definitively it's in the top 5 arenas, around the world, if not even number one.
Dustin, where would you rank Madison Square Garden out of all the venues you competed in over the years?
I'm kind of right there with Bruce. It might be the number one. And then another thing that makes it so much more sweeter is before I walk out for my fight, I'm in my locker room warming up. Mike Tyson comes in and wants to meet me and shake my hand in the locker room. It was just an incredible night for me personally. So it's going to be hard to top that.
Yeah, I'd imagine what that moment was like for you, and just given all of the celebrities that go to every single Madison Square Garden card, that had to be something that you'll remember for a very, very long time. That's very, very cool. Well, thanks again so much for your time, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Good luck with the campaign and everything. UFC 322 should be awesome, and I look forward to staying in touch.